Hello, I'm Seth Holder, and we're here with Kevin Rollins. We're going to talk a little bit about mold remediation today. Kevin, how you doing? Tell us a little bit about your company.
Thank you, Seth. I'm doing pretty good. I work for Ace Exterminating. We have a division called Ace Mold Proof that we got into roughly about 3 years ago due to the fact that a lot of our customers were having moisture-related issues. We had a big flood here in 2010.
hmm
We got into it basically just to better serve our current customers and future customers as well.
Okay, great. So let's talk a little bit about what are some things homeowners should look for in a mold remediation company.
I would say someone that has some training and license, of course, but someone that you can trust. We're a local company, so I mean we call an apple an apple. But someone that just does good work and has a good reputation.
Okay. Okay, perfect. So tell me a little bit about what are some of the most common issues and problems that you see related to mold in the Middle Tennessee area.
Mold, it basically comes from just excess moisture levels. We do a lot of crawl space work where it can be something as simple as someone's the rainwater coming underneath the home from the gutters, not having gutter extensions, or something just very easy like that, or even water leaks, small water leaks that go unnoticed, and we see a lot of that too.
Okay, good. So what kind of are there things that a homeowner can do to kind of get more peace of mind in terms of mold and preventing it and all the issues that go along with it?
Yeah, the biggest thing is just once you purchase a home, it's smart to at least know, see what all is going on underneath the home. Make sure there's no water levels, no standing water, but humidity here in the south where we're at in Tennessee, the humidity gets really, really up there. It's not uncommon to have 80, 90% humidity through the summer. And that alone on a crawl space that's vented, that has crawl space vents, that can cause moisture problems that you can't usually see. It's just you got relative humidity up there. Which basically at that point in time, your floor joist absorb too much moisture, and then you start having more of the fungus show up and starting to grow.
hmm Well, let's talk a little bit about that. What are some signs that people see, and what are things to look for that there might be a mold problem or one that could develop?
I would say, musky odors in the home. If you see a difference in your water bill, you don't know where the water's going, that could be a flag.
hmm
Um, or if you've got hardwood floors, you can see like a little cupping or a little rolling to the hardwood floors. And usually that's a good indicator as far as excess moisture that the floor is absorbed, which could mean there's a problem underneath.
hmm Okay, good. So what can you start to do when you see these issues to take steps to try to protect the value of your home?
I'd say get a qualified inspector to come out, do an evaluation of the home, just to make sure that there's no current water issues. Basically, mold's just surrounded by moisture problems. Moisture is the fuel to it, so I mean, if you got a good dry crawl space, you shouldn't have a problem. But I mean, the biggest thing is just have your home inspected to make sure, what the crawl space looks like, make sure it's dry.
Okay, good. So what can you do to prevent it, I guess? Or do you have any tips there in terms of prevention of mold problems?
Have encapsulated crawl spaces help a lot. I'm a big believer in doing that, and sealing the vents to where you don't let the humid air outside go underneath the house. That's one way to do it, and basically just keeping a dry, controlled environment underneath the home in the crawl space, or even in a basement home. We do some basement homes that have moisture problems too. Usually on that, I recommend any basement home to have a dehumidifier.
Okay, okay, that's good stuff. So what kind of tools and products and technology do you guys use when dealing with mold issues?
Our main tools are flashlight and visual inspection. We have moisture meters. We of course use those to find hidden, moisture problems in walls. We have that. We have the capability to have air testing done to verify what the air quality of the home's like if there's even an issue, as far as that part goes. But basically it's just like crawl spaces wise, it's just going under there and doing a good visual, seeing what's going on, take pictures. Camera is a good tool, and just making a lot of notes and talking to the customer.
Okay, good. So I guess what should property owners know about the risks that come along with moisture and mold problems?
I'd say the biggest thing is on a crawl space home, on average 30 to 40% of the air in the home comes from the crawl space. I've been doing this for 13 years and seen a lot of homes that are really nice on the inside, but they don't never pay any attention to the crawl space, where obviously 30, 40% of the air quality comes from there. If you got poor air quality in the crawl space and have mold or fungus problems going on, then obviously you're increasing the chances inside the home of lowering the air quality.
Okay. Yeah, air quality is a big thing these days. People are really concerned about that.
Yeah,
Hmm.
a lot of people have allergies and asthma, and it can be a trigger. For instance, we had a customer, real estate agent we do a lot of work for. Her sister couldn't go in there a certain part to a certain area of their home. It turns out she was just allergic to one of the molds that was in the crawl space. And after we serviced it, took care of it, we encapsulated it and ended up putting a dehumidifier in her home. She no longer has that itch, I guess you would say, to where it triggers her allergy for the home.
That's interesting. Okay, so what kinds of things do you guys come in and do when you see a problem?
As far as inspecting or treating?
Well, in dealing with it and anything that you guys are doing to help deal with the problem once you found it, the problem is in place.
I mean, like on a treatment, your average treatment, we'll go in and seal the crawl space up and put in commercial dehumidifiers to help dry the crawl space out before we, obviously you start the cleaning process. We do clean outs, insulation, any debris that's in the crawl space, and we run air scrubbers, which is basically a HEPA vacuum that cleans the air as we're working, just to help keep, just to improve the quality of the air in the home.
Okay, great. So say I'm a homeowner and I've got mold and moisture issues. How do you demonstrate the options that I have and pricing and that type of thing?
It's kind of a case-by-case basis.
Okay.
The size of the home, the size of the crawl space, or the basement we're dealing with, and each job's unique in its own way. Some of them we might have to carry out work in the basement home or something like that. And it's really, as far as pricing goes, really we go to the property, do a thorough inspection, take a lot of notes, a lot of pictures, and see what we need to do. And we generally put together a job scope and usually email it to the customer and explains what we need to do for their house. Just about every one of them will be getting in some type of way.
Okay. So what can people expect in terms of time frame from once they identify the problem to it being dealt with?
As far as the busy time of the year, usually I'd say we're usually a week or so from starting just about any job. Slower times of the year we can usually get to it pretty quick. But your average mold remediation of a crawl space is about a Monday through Friday job. We usually have a third-party guy test it before even starting the work, just so we got a baseline on what the goal is, where we need to improve on. Once we do our work, it's a process. That's the best way I can explain it. It's not done in a day. So rule of thumb, 3 to 5 days on your average job. Some bigger homes are obviously a little bit more.
Okay. All right, a couple more questions, but can you rattle off the phone number for me real quick in case somebody has a problem that they'd like to call about right now?
Sure, area code 615-876-7185.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to throw you a little curveball here and ask you a question. So you've been doing this for a long time. What is sort of the worst thing you've ever seen in terms of these types of problems?
As far as mold goes, I've been to a few where you've seen like mushroom-looking stuff growing out of carpet. I mean, I've seen some pretty gnarly ones. We did a basement home one time where the guys removed the ceiling area and found like mushrooms literally growing in the ceiling area that was probably as big as your fist. Just stuff like that. I mean, I seen grass growing out of carpet one time in an apartment building.
Huh? Wow. So you were there for the flood, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what kinds of lessons did people learn after that event happened in terms of what they should do to prevent issues if there was another flood?
I guess the main thing is that it's the awareness of moisture, how much of moisture can affect your home in a whole lot of different ways. I mean, mold for one, but for termites and bugs and wildlife, it's kind of tied in as part of the puzzle. Moisture.
Sure. Sure, yeah, maybe keep your gutters in good condition so they
Gutters,
don't fall off when it rains that much, stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah, keep gutters cleaned out. I mean, it's just something simple like that. If a gutter's plugged up, I mean, you'd be surprised on a hard rainstorm how much water comes off the roof of the home, and it's got to go somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so do you guys have any specials or offers or deals that you offer to people, and how can you get that if you do have some of those?
I would say right now, a lot of that stuff changes, during
Hmm.
the time of the year. I'd visit the website, aceexterminating.info, but I'd be willing to give, new customers 10% off if they mention this webcast, that they got our info from here. I'd be glad to honor that.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Okay, so can you rattle off the phone number one more time for me?
Yep, sure can. Area code 615-876-7185.
Okay, thanks a lot, Kevin. You provided some great info, and hope you have a great afternoon.
Hey, about you too.
Okay, thanks.